That's the intro to my new song.
Please let Alex Lurpin be the intro.
Should we do 3, 2, 1, A?
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 3, 2, 1, A. It's usually go by...
We're not going to go.
Why would we go A anyway? 3, 2, 1, A! A! As in A-Y.
Right, 3, 2, 1, A! Welcome back to the Pack Podcast. This is our 3rd episode. Still in the watershed. I swear to fuck with your slurping. We're back in the BFI watershed again. Very nice of them to let us be here. Love getting looked at through it's almost like an interrogation room. They just forgot to make it a two-way screen.
It's a very colourful interrogation room.
Yeah. Well, this is a nice cop interrogation room. Oh, your face annoys me.
Don't say that to Alex. Come on.
Right. You said last time, and I completely forgot this, we were talking about guilty pleasures.
Yes.
And was it Friday the 13th that you were on about?
Yes, the Friday the 13th.
What did you mean by that?
I know they're all crappy films.
Well, alright, let's not go too far.
I mean...
The fourth one was pretty fucking good.
Oh, Jason X. That's... Have you seen Jason X?
No, come a bit closer.
Alright,
Don't be afraid. Don't bite.
Friday the 13th.
Alright, that's too please.
But yeah, no, that's what I was going to say, those are my guilty pleasures.
What, which one specifically? All of them? Or just...
All of them. Apart from the 6th one, because that one's intentionally bad, that is the best one.
Which one's the 6th one?
The one after the 5th. So basically, the 6th one is when they decided, okay, let's stop taking this seriously. They had a James Bond style intro for Jason
I heard
Voorhees.
about that.
Yeah.
How does that even work, a Jason Bourne?
So basically, Jason Voorhees gets brought back by a lightning strike, and it goes to his eye, and then a mini Jason Voorhees is just stood in his eye doing that, and then the classic James Bond.
I like that.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything about Death Stranded?
I see it everywhere, but I'm not watching anything of it.
It's such a random fucking game. I was a big fan of the Metal Gear series. Love Metal Gear, like all of them. Metal Gear Solid 5 was such an amazing game. That was the one I think I played the most. I played 4 quite a lot because that came out with the PlayStation 3, or I got a bundle with it. Metal Gear Solid 5 is such an amazing game, and Death Stranding, like, it feels so similar.
Wait, have you got Death Stranding? Or have you just been...
No, I got it.
Nice.
I don't know if I regret it or not. I love it, but I don't.
What is it you don't like about it?
Essentially it's a hiking simulator.
I kind of like that.
So, you know the worst quest in every game is a fetch quest. The whole game is a fetch quest. When you first start, it's quite tense. Like, because there's these things called the BTs, right? So this is such a Kojima production, right? It's such a convoluted story that you kind of piece together over time, and I really like that. But the thing is, what they do at the start is they throw a lot of terminology at you that you have no fucking clue what it means. So this is to piece it together, so you have alive people, and then when you die, you go to a place called the beach, and then you become a beached thing. And the beach is like a separate universe.
Is that what those things were in the trailer when you saw the baby?
The floating ones.
Oh, the floating.
The floating, like, invisible people. That's a beach thing.
Oh, right, okay.
So that's basically like it's fun. I haven't finished the game, and
How long is the game?
it's too fucking long so far.
Is it? It's like. I don't know the numbers.
The
Well,
thing
there's
is,
60 plus hours.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, especially because this kind of game is, you kind of go at whatever pace you go at. It's really hard to be like definitive about it.
The thing is, obviously the graphics in this game look.
Oh, they look amazing.
Really nice.
Very nice.
That's the one. Like, I saw it because is it open world?
Yeah.
Like, what you call it, even stuff from just getting ladders out and climbing mountains and all that. I don't care if it's just.
So this thing is like people were saying that this is like almost like a love letter from Kojima, because the whole thing is like so it's almost like an allegory for everyone being divided at the minute. Like with I think the big thing is like Trump's America. It's like a big sort of like no to that. So the whole thing is that the world's been torn apart, everyone's split apart, and the whole goal throughout the game is basically to piece everyone back together. And it's like always online. So basically, if you build a bridge in your game, everyone will have that bridge when they play the game. So when you first play it, the game will be completely empty.
It's like kind of. It's not really online. Like you don't actually.
You don't have to be online.
Yeah.
But basically, if you play it today, it will be empty. If you play it in like a year's time, the place will be full of shit. How cool is that?
Yeah.
So you basically
Wait, how big is this world?
So the place I've got to is like a second map that you go to, but both maps are pretty big. They're really big.
I'm just confused.
And don't forget, it's not like GTA and stuff where you can get in a plane
Well, yeah,
and fucking
yeah,
fly
yeah.
across. Like, you start the game, and you have to walk everywhere. And so as I think I sent you a photo of me with like a massive backpack on.
Yeah. I thought you were
At the
watching
start,
someone play that.
No, so like at the start, you literally, if you have like what I did then, you really struggle to move around because you lose your balance really easily, and it's so fucking frustrating. But throughout the game, like you get stuff like you get a bike, which is shite, but it just makes your life easy, and then you can like get a van at some point that can carry all your stuff, or you can get these like exoskeleton legs that makes so you can run really quickly and you don't really lose your balance. But like at the start, it's such a slow game. The start is like a completely different game, and then after like so many hours of pain, it just like becomes so fast all of a sudden.
Also, can I just say, you mentioned lose your balance. You can lose your balance.
The whole mate, honestly, the whole thing about the game is you have to carry cargo places, right? You literally have places to store cargo on your back, on your shoulders, and on your hips. And you can even get things that like you can get like little carts that wheel behind you, and you can like attach them to you, and then you can attach another cart to that, so you can make like a 3-man cargo system. It's such a stupid game, and it's amazing. And so like you carry like ladders with you, you carry like all these things.
Yeah.
And like so again, like if you put them in the world, they'll be there for everyone. And the whole thing is like Kojima specifically put it so you can like you like people's ladders and you like the things they build. And the whole thing is you can like everything, but you can't dislike or be negative about anything else. So the whole game for him is like it's almost like trying to reconnect everyone, and everyone's being positive and like trying to help each other.
I like that.
And that was the whole thing. And
But surely, like, the world has to be pretty big, because otherwise, if, anyone could put a ladder anywhere, the whole world would just be filled with ladders.
so yeah, see, I was wondering the same thing. I don't know if it's like they'll probably have like dedicated servers. So
okay.
one thing is I don't know if every time you log on it'll be like a different server. So sometimes there'll be a ladder, then sometimes there won't, or it'll be there the whole time. I've not really spent time to check, because they might just put you in like an EU server or something. Obviously they couldn't do the whole thing because not only would the game run like shit, it would just be really hard to keep track of. But the way they do it so far has just been really cool. But I can imagine like playing the game in like a year or two, just being a completely different game because there'll be fucking ladders everywhere. There'll be like, but it's such an interesting concept, and to a lot of people, like you'll either love it or you'll absolutely hate it because it is one of the most tedious games. But it's a Kojima thing. Like he references the player quite a lot. So there's one point where you've been delivering so many fucking packages, and you get to this like almost boss fight, and there's always there's always like an antagonist in Kojima games that like references the player specifically, and he's like getting tired of the grind, and you're like, shut the fuck up. And he's like, isn't this what you've been waiting for? And then he'll put like a boss on you, and it's like, it's quite interesting. But the first time you come in contact with these BTs are genuinely horrifying. They're invisible for a start.
Would you say that this game has quite a bit of horror aspects?
At the beginning, it is so tense and so unnerving, but then towards the end you just stop giving a fuck, because basically for like hours of the game, you can only sense them and know where they are, and they're really strong. So the whole thing is, if you die, you'll create something called a void out, where basically if anyone dies, after a certain amount of time they'll just explode. And the whole thing is you want to keep the world connected and keep it all building, so you don't want people to die because otherwise you're just going to blow shit up.
How does that, that flashing thing you have?
So that detects BTs.
Yeah.
So basically the closer you get is like, it will change what it's
That's
doing.
the thing, I think, I don't know if this game is meant to be like, horror type, but I think that's fucking terrifying not being able to see them. But
that's the thing. So and the thing is, if you make too much, there's a button literally to hold your breath, and then so you've got to try and get around them and hold your breath. And if they sense you, they are fucking terrifying the first time you meet them because you can't see them, and then all of a sudden, like this massive like mud pit basically comes around you, and you start getting like dragged down. And then if they drag you down far enough, everything gets like covered in this liquid. Like it almost becomes like a sea. And you've got this massive like whale dolphin fucking creature like coming after you. It's horrible. But then at a certain point in the game, you get grenades made of your own blood, and you throw your own blood grenades at them, and they just die. And then all of a sudden, the game just shifts to a different tone.
What is the actual story like so far?
I couldn't fucking tell you. So the whole thing is you don't really know what happened. So this is like you're trying to rebuild America basically.
Okay. Wait, what year is this actually set in? Do you know?
I don't know if they give it yet. They might do. I haven't noticed it. But it's one of those games where you could probably miss a lot of the story quite easily.
Yeah.
Also, you know the guy that played the villain in Doctor Strange, and he was also the dad.
Yeah.
One?
What's his name in Hannibal?
In Hannibal. Yeah. So he appears quite a lot
Yeah.
But it's a weird thing. So you have that baby.
Yeah.
So basically, every time you leave, you connect up to the baby pod or whatever, and you get like a flashback through the baby's eyes, and you see him, and he's like your dad. And I've not got far enough yet, but he seems really important, but you don't know what he is yet. Because a lot of times he's like just talking to you, and then there's like a woman led there who's his wife, I think. And they've not explained what the beach is very much. I haven't really talked about the babies, because the babies do something. Because they basically, it's called a bridge baby, or BB.
Yeah.
And apparently they sort of exist between the beach and real life. So like the whole thing is they kind of, I don't even know what they fucking do. I think I've missed that bit, but like they obviously came from somewhere, and so every time you see it, you see a bit more of what he is and what the backstory is there. But so far I haven't got that far. Like shit's kind of going down, but it's one of those things that will kind of be drawn out, and I assume towards the end you'll be like, oh my fucking god. They have so many guest appearances in that thing. They've like mocapped a lot of people to be like,
Is there
when you
people-
deliver cargo, that people will be like there to like accept it.
Yeah.
One of the people was in there, Edgar Wright.
Wait,
I was expecting. I delivered a cargo,
my God.
and I was like, that looks a lot like Edgar Wright. If you've got Edgar Wright's Twitter, he's got photos with Kojima and all the production teams. Like, and then you find out it is actually Edgar Wright.
That's brilliant.
There's also Conan O'Brien in the game.
Oh my
I haven't
God.
met Conan O'Brien yet.
Wait, don't tell me anymore because I have to wait.
But there's a bunch of people like that, and sometimes you look at him and you go, is that? That is, isn't it? And then it's. Because obviously your main character is Norman Reedus from Walking Dead.
What's he like in it? Is he good at it?
He's good. I don't know. He's not much of a character. He's quite reserved.
He's quite like this. He's sort of like
He
Daryl in
plays
Walking Dead.
his character. Do you know what I mean? There's Kojima always puts really quirky shit in his games. He's like, but I like that. Like he makes games that no one else does.
Yeah, I mean, he's finally made my dream game. I've always wanted to meet Conan O'Brien in a FedEx simulator game. That's all I want.
It's I don't know. It's a really interesting game. It's just weird. It just has that kind of feeling to it. But
Please tell me he's wearing like his superhero suit that he's wearing on the Earth.
I haven't met him yet.
Oh, you haven't met
No,
him?
I haven't seen him.
I really want to see.
I think he's quite late game. He must be because I just haven't seen him anywhere.
I can't imagine him in it.
But the game is just it's been quite fun. I need to turn the game down because it's quite loud. But the game's just been so fun. It's just weird.
Yeah,
I've talked far too long about this game.
Kojima needs to start working on films. To be honest, that's clearly
No,
where his
have you
passion
not
is.
seen that? People have been telling him it's like you basically already fucking make films. Just make them properly. I think just make proper films. He's already got actors and stuff involved.
Yeah, I
mean,
know.
like he's got Edgar Wright on the payroll apparently. But
Do you reckon Edgar Wright would have worked on the script at all in any of this?
no,
Or is he
a lot of them I think are just guest bits
Yeah.
because Kojima's one of those few magical people that oversee every single tiny aspect of his games. They are 100% his vision.
Yeah.
Like even though he doesn't make the sound himself, he'll sign off on it, and same with like the graphics and stuff. Like he has a sign off on everything, and that's why these games feel so much like him, and that's why like when Konami on Metal Gear Solid 5 kind of just kicked him off at the end, like he was nothing.
Yeah.
Like they were so fucking stupid, just let him go. Because basically, he wanted to get away from Metal Gear Solid. He was kind of like he loved the franchise and he's put so much work into it, but like, he's got to the point where he was just like I can't do it anymore. And so like Metal Gear Solid 5 was supposed to be like a really good goodbye, but he had so many falling outs with like Konami. So
Well,
that game was
PCs
never actually properly finished. So Metal Gear Solid
yeah.
5 literally has like a third chapter that just never came out.
I never completed
We should
Phantom
say-
Pain.
You were just saying about PT. Norman Reedus, obviously, he was supposed to be in that one, Silent Hills.
Yeah.
He literally said that in an interview that he was happy that never got made because obviously, otherwise they'd been working from a pre-established franchise. But he was really happy that they got to make a brand new IP.
Yeah.
And just go completely like nuts and just do whatever like Kojima wanted. They didn't have to stick within these boundaries. I'm surprised at how much Norman Reedus was like completely on board with him because there was a bit where he has a lot of respect for
You on that?
What
Norman
is-
Reedus.
the guy that made Metal Gear Solid. I've literally said his name.
Oh,
so many
Kojima.
times. Kojima.
Oh, yeah.
He has so much respect for him, and at one point he was literally like, it's like he describes him as the Beatles and Elvis. He's like he's been in a room where grown men have been crying and like getting all cheery at him, like just from the sight of him, and that was such a like nice thing to see because I've only ever seen Norman Reedus in like Walking Dead, so to hear him
Yeah.
talk so highly of someone is like really quite like
Oh,
nice.
Norman Reedus as an actor is a really humble person.
Mm.
I really like him.
He seems so cool. But in the game, like he has this weird thing where he doesn't really like touching people. So when people get close to him, he's like really uncomfortable. I don't know. It's such a weird fucking game. My favorite part, Troy Baker's in it. Troy Baker's one of my. Troy Baker is my favorite voice actor. I think
he looks fucking awesome in it.
Oh, like his mask and stuff. Yeah. No, he looks so cool. So like, yeah, he's just cool. Troy Baker always has a lot of fun, because especially when he plays villains, because he gets really like quirky with it.
Yeah. Who do you prefer, Troy Baker or
Nolan North?
Yeah.
So I like them both quite a lot.
Yeah.
I prefer Troy Baker purely because he plays certain roles that I really like, but Nolan North I think is funnier in his own way, because Nolan North always gets described as like a drunk uncle, and they have a YouTube channel called Retro Replay, where it's Troy Baker and Nolan North, and they sit on a couch, and it's always like Nolan North's like, Uncle Nolan says, and he like says something, and then like a little graphic appears, and it's like Uncle Nolan with like a little like thumbs up next to it, and he always does this like drunk uncle voice, because obviously they're both voice actors, so like pretty much the whole time they're playing, they just do different voices all the fucking time, and they always like feed off of each other. And it's honestly, I'd recommend watching.
It's Nolan that does Joel in The Last of Us, isn't it? Or, yeah.
No, it's Troy that does Nolan.
Was it?
Yeah, which I always found weird, because obviously Joel's quite like an old, aged, weathered character, and Troy's obviously the younger of the two, and Nolan's got quite a rough voice.
Yeah.
Nolan is in that game, I think.
Yeah,
he plays the brother, I think.
Yeah. What's he called? Uncle. I forgot his name, but yeah.
Also, the amount of jokes in Death Stranding about Norman Reedus and his fetus. There are two, like, every time someone talks about that game, it's always someone making a joke like Norman Reedus and his amazing fetus or something, and then like go on like travels around with like the FedEx packages, and dude, I don't know, but yeah, Troy Baker and Nolan North are like, they're such good people. They both appeared on Rooster Teeth, so they did a lot of podcasts over there, and
Have they been on Game Grumps before?
Oh,
because I'd be surprised if they haven't.
I think. I don't know if they've been on Game Grumps. They've not done the guest Grumps with them.
Yeah.
But I think they know of each other.
Okay.
Because I know Jacksepticeye knows Nolan North. No, he knows Troy Baker. And obviously Rooster Teeth too. So I'd be quite surprised if Game Grumps don't. Because Jacksepticeye and Game Grumps are actually quite close.
Oh, yeah.
And same with like Markiplier and stuff. So like I assume they've all met at some point. They might have done a panel or something. I might have missed it. But they're just... I don't know if humble is the right word, but they're really grounded people a lot of times. Like on Retro Replay, like a lot of times Troy would just talk about his kids, and it's so like nice. It's just like heartwarming. Like you forget that they're in these massive AAA titles.
Yeah.
They're just two random blokes just talking shit on a couch, playing with these like goofy, over the top like retro style.
Do they ever
controls.
play their own games?
Yes. So up until maybe a couple of weeks ago, they only played old retro games, and then they did a couple of VR games where have you ever seen a game that's like an escape room, but it's VR, and you have to try to like, it's like a detective game or like a spy game.
Yeah.
Was it like We Expect You to Die or something?
Yeah, because there's one where you're in a car as well.
So
right?
obviously Nolan is just an old man.
Yeah.
And Troy's played it before with his wife and all that. So he puts Nolan on the headset, and Troy just like helps him, walks him through it, like, and they just talk to each other. And Nolan is so old, and I love him to bits, because he's so like, it's just how you expect someone older to play something like that. Obviously, he's done games and that before, but like it's just the way he reacts to things.
Yeah.
And the way Troy's like, oh, maybe you should try turning the key, and he's like, oh, and then he would turn the key, and he goes, oh, look at that worked, and Troy would be like, crazy. They did a game like that, and then I think they've started playing through Uncharted recently, which is obviously Nolan's biggest game. Was it Nolan? Yeah, Nolan did.
Did you ever complete Uncharted 4? Because I know Leon didn't.
No. So I remember that I was loving Uncharted 4, and then I just stopped playing it. And then I sold it because I remember I wasn't having money issues. I just wanted more money.
No.
But I know Leon had it, and I keep asking him to borrow it, and we keep forgetting. But I am determined to finish that game. I've played 2 and 3 to completion. I didn't complete 1. Because it always gets fucking... those games are so random. They always get really crazy at the end.
Yeah, I know.
The end always has like monsters and like zombies and shit.
3 was the only one I properly played.
3 was the one where it had like... Was that when it had all like...
There was that
Asian like sort of...
So
no, don't laugh. There was like, I can't remember if it was like Hindu or something, but it was like definitely based off something.
But I
had all these like undead people. Like,
I just remember.
Was it a curse?
Well, in Uncharted 3, there was one bit where you're in a plane.
I remember the plane.
You jump out and you stand.
The big set
I
piece,
thought the
wasn't it?
sand effects were so good at the time.
Yeah, because you walk for like
so
20
good.
minutes
Yeah.
just in the sand. That was amazing. No, I really like that. Man, honestly, I always write down a list for these podcasts, and I'm always like, I'm not gonna have enough to talk about.
Yeah.
We've spent way too long on just one bit that I never expected to do.
Oh, that's good.
But I like that. That's good. It's one of those things that I always worry about. Is like not having enough to talk about. But then I forget that we just talk shit for a living.
So one thing, still talking about games. Are you gonna get Last of Us Part 2?
Yeah.
Did you played the first
I didn't complete the first one, but I watched it to the end.
Okay.
I don't like saying that because a lot of people will judge you for it, but I know that it's quite common to watch games to the end. But usually I do it on games that I'm not sure about. Because I'm surprised I didn't do it with Death Stranding, but I think that's because of Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah.
MGS5 was one of those games that I was really excited for, so I bought it. And because of that, I kind of trust Kojima to make these. Even if a lot of people won't like the game, he still you can't deny that he doesn't have a certain level of quality to his games.
Oh yeah.
So if you don't get on with it, that's fine. But usually it's down to preference at that point because his games are always so polished and clean. And like so I trust him, so I got him like that. But with stuff like Last of Us, especially when it first came out, because I've never been very good with I wouldn't call it a horror game, but it's like tense.
Yeah.
And obviously it's quite eerie in places, like just with the clickers and stuff.
You'll hate Resident Evil 2 when Mr. X comes in there.
Yeah.
So that's another one of those games where I actually watched it because it's one of those games that
Even watching it is tense. Like when you hear his footsteps like above you, and
I do I loved watching that game because it's one of those games. I'm so bad with horror. I've never been like subjected to it as a young person. Like, I never watched like films and stuff growing up, like horror films. So I've always just been like, nah, rather not. But Resident Evil 2, it's one of those games where even though it is a horror game, and they're definitely bringing it back a lot more, like the horror side of it, it's one of those games that like I've never really got into, but I really wanted to watch it because I always know that people used to hype Resi 2. So I was like, you can tell as soon as it starts. So like you're like, I'm gonna enjoy this. I know you and Leon played it, which I understand that it's probably such a more satisfying thing to play through it yourself.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you're not gonna go out of your way to buy the game and play through it yourself, because if you're like me and you're a little wet napkin, right? Sometimes it's still good just to like understand the game. Like, even again, it's not going to be like the same satisfaction, but you're still going to get to experience it.
Yeah.
And like you're still going to get to enjoy it. And like when someone says, "Oh, do you remember that bit when Mr. T comes in?" You can go, "Yeah, that was fucking awesome." Like you know, just because you're not controlling the character, it's still like a story.
Last thing with Last of Us, I think it works either way if you play it.
Well, because it's quite a story-heavy game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think with a lot of horror games, obviously the scares are much reduced when you're not playing, obviously. Yeah. But with a game like, as you said, Last of Us, because it's so story-based, you could probably just watch all the cutscenes and not have to really play the game too much. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend that, but because it's such a story-focused game, you could probably like understand where it's coming from.
Did you watch the gameplay for Last of Us Part 2?
So,
because there's a bit.
Oh no, I haven't seen anything for Last of Us.
You haven't.
I've seen one trailer, and that's when they just age. It's not even Ellen Page, is it?
No.
I always think it's Ellen Page. It's
Yeah.
the girl from Umbrella Academy, isn't it?
That's still Ellen Page.
Oh, is it? Well, the girl that looks a lot like Ellen Page.
Yeah.
What's the character?
I never thought.
Is it Ellie?
Yeah, Ellie.
Where they age Ellie up into where she is now.
No.
That was a cool.
After this, I got to show you the gameplay of it. It looks fucking awesome.
My favourite bit is still that fucking meme with the bunny rabbit and that girl was playing Last of Us and she's like,
oh
it's so
yeah,
cute, and he's like, have you seen it? Like people put it over like car logs and stuff. Like that was good. That was good. I enjoyed that. It's really, I think what it is because I never had the remastered Last of Us. I think it's come out on PS Plus.
Yeah.
But at the time, like I only had it on PS Now, and obviously PS Now is a streaming service, so even if you've got good Wi-Fi, it will still scale the resolution down slightly. And it was the original Last of Us, not the remastered one, so it didn't look very nice at all. And I think that was one of the reasons that I kind of put it down after all, because I experienced the story and I loved it. And I remember I saw the game and I was like, well, I want to play through it as well. But I think just because of how it looked, I just couldn't get into it. But I think if I went back and played the remastered one and downloaded the game properly, I could get back into it a lot easier. I don't really mind playing the intro again. You can kind of speed past it because the only issue with the intro is you don't really have to pay attention if you've already played, because it's all one really long cutscene, pretty much.
Yeah.
Until you really get out past the city.
I remember when I first played Last of Us, and you're Sarah, Joel's daughter, and you look on the TV on the news, and then a bomb goes off on the news, and you look to the left at the window, and you actually see the bomb, and I just love little stuff like that.
Stuff like that makes me so happy. But yeah, no, I mean, definitely show me that trailer afterwards, because it's one of those things that I am interested in.
Yeah.
But there's certain things where like you're not really you're looking forward to it, and you know you're gonna love it, but you're not hyped about it until it really comes out.
Yeah.
Like Death Stranding, I think the reason it's had such an impact on me as well is I've not seen anything for it.
Yeah.
So the first time I saw Troy Baker with that mask was in game. I didn't see the trailers or anything.
Oh, okay.
And like with the BTs and all that, like I didn't know what the fuck was happening. The only trailer I actually saw for it was I think the E3 one where it's Norman Reedus on a beach with the baby, and everyone was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
That was the only thing I saw of the game.
The music in that trailer was.
And then
awesome.
when you play it and it's just a delivery company, you're like, this is not what I was fucking expecting. Also, there is music in the game, and it's very nice.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the soundtrack.
Is it very
The
orchestrated
soundtrack,
and-
Kojima always does a great job with soundtracks. Like Metal Gear Solid 5 obviously had the cassettes, and that
Oh,
was amazing.
Fucking Find and Take on Me and
Yeah.
Kids in America.
It works
really
so well in that game. It was amazing. It does the same thing in here because obviously, especially early game, a lot of it is you just kind of walking around mountains and taking your time. So the music really helps you just sort of like get into it.
It's just like a lot of like ambient kind of sound.
Yeah,
Is it very orchestrated, the musical? Is it like...
Electronic.
No, it's very calming. So yeah, I'd say it's more orchestrated. It's not like
Okay, I like that.
there is like certain, I guess you could call them battle music. There's like tension music, and sometimes that gets a bit heavier. Like
It's just very cinematic type music.
yeah. It never feels out of place. Like, even though the tension music sometimes it uses some more instruments that you wouldn't hear otherwise, it all fits with the tone. And obviously, cause when you're like walking down a cliff, you don't hear like hard fucking metal. It's like really somber and nice. It's like,
I can see this being like a Zelda game, just roaming the wild. And
yeah,
got
pretty
this-
much.
But with these insane graphics.
What is it like? Before I bought it, I always watch. I think like I did it for God of War as well. I usually watch like maybe 30 minutes of someone playing it first, and I think if I like that,
Yeah.
I'll get it. Because I remember I had no interest in the new God of War, and now look at me, I've got fucking tattoos on my arms, right? I had no interest in the God of War. I bought a PlayStation for Spider-Man, and then I saw Jacksepticeye play it for like 30 minutes, and I remember I stopped the video and I said to myself, fuck it, I'm just going to get it. Like, I want to experience this myself. And it's one of the few games where I thought, this would be better if I just played it myself. It would mean more to me. Look where we are now. And like, Death Stranding was one of those things where I think I watched like 5-10 minutes of it, and I was like, I think I want to play this myself. Just because it's one of those games that's so different that even if I didn't like it, it's a talking point. Again, we're still fucking talking about this game, but it's especially if you. I think I would recommend just looking at it if you're not going to play it yourself. Like just look at a little bit of it because it's such an interesting concept that they've got.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole thing is Kojima has these really interesting high concepts that are just interesting to like look at and like sort of get into. If you look those kind of not mysteries, but like those things where you like understand it as time goes on, you're like, this is fucking crazy. Like that's what he does really well. I keep going on to like I'm like, right, we're gonna go off this topic now, and then we keep just doing a fucking turning over. We're like, I can imagine this is what we'd be like in a car, like on a road trip. We've just been this way. Nah, go that way anyway. We'll check. We'll double check.
Yeah, it is quite a big topic. Like for me, the entire game is just surrounded in mystery, as it was.
Yeah,
with you
exactly.
before.
I know.
So
Yes.
I'm just sitting here quietly, just intrigued.
No, I would honestly recommend if you're not going to play it, which I would recommend you do play it. But obviously,
How
people like
much is the game?
It's full price, so
full,
like.
okay.
But if I'm one of those people that I would completely understand if you didn't want to spend £50-60 on a game which is literally a hiking simulator.
Yeah.
Because again, a lot of people are going to absolutely hate that. They're not going to enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, it is a lot. It is quite tedious at times, but it does ramp up quite quickly after so many hours. It's quite, as I said earlier, the tone shift just kind of the tone stays the same, but like the pace of the game just speeds up tenfold. Because you do get enemies, you do get the BTs, which are obviously slower, and eventually you get the grenades that you just toss at them. But the BT, like you sort of have like mini and BT boss fights. I've only had one. Those are really tense. They're not exactly hard, but they're tense.
Yeah.
Like the way it makes you feel. But then there's also these guys called mules. This game is so fucking stupid as well. The way it describes them is people that have had their whole family's been delivering packages their whole life, so it's in their DNA. That's how they describe these people. It's such a stupid fucking game. Like the whole point of the game is you're gonna save the entire of America delivering packages. It's literally like one commercial for FedEx. That's all it is. Like FedEx saved your mum. It's like some of the ideas are so fucking stupid, but I think that's what makes the game a bit more quirky and lovable. is and these mules that are DNA genetically, they don't want to deliver packages. They're just obsessed with them.
Yeah.
So they just constantly hoard and like take packages off people, and like it's such a stupid idea. But there's like another type of enemy, and they have these like scanners out in the world, so they'll scan you, and then when they see you, they'll like try and come after you, and you can like stealth around them and stuff, and you can like take their vehicles, and they have these like nice cargo trucks that you can take, but basically you can like, so when you first meet them, you're like, oh fuck, staying away from this, like you don't want to fight them, but then you realise that they're quite easy. So you go up into them and you start having fist fights with them, and then eventually, if you're smart enough, you realise that if you're carrying a package in your hand, you could knock them out in one swift movement with a fucking package, and you literally clock them around the side of the jaw, and they just get knocked out.
What is the fighting mechanics like?
They're pretty loose. They're not very much. I mean, you do get weapons at some point.
Yeah.
I've only got 2 so far, so I've got the blood grenades, which is obviously for the BTs, because your blood like reacts to them, so they don't like it. And then you've also got you've got a rope as well, which you can like detain people stealthily with the mules without hurting them. But so far I've just got a bolas gun, which is literally shoot it and it just ties them up. But what I didn't realise is that they'll just break out of it and get up. So you've got to knock them down, and you've got to run up and just stomp them in the fucking head to keep them down. Because you can't kill them again because you're called void out. So the whole thing is you can't kill people. So they can't just give you like an M4 and just go around shooting people.
Yeah.
Which I think is quite an interesting way to do it as well, because it means, again, the mules aren't that intimidating really, but like especially when you first meet the BTs, you're like, what the fuck do I do? Because they're really strong as well, and even though you can come back. So the thing is, when you die in that game, it doesn't respawn you at the last checkpoint. There's an in-game reason for how you come back, but it continues time. So if you die, I this is bearing in mind, I don't actually know how it works because I haven't died. You die once in the game, and that's scripted. I've not died outside of that yet, so I'm still uncertain that if you die, I don't know if that will cause a void out, and you have to just live with that, or what I'm thinking is, so they teach you this whole mechanic of when someone dies, you have to take them to an incinerator. It's like a really crucial part at the start, but they do no more story parts of that. So what I'm thinking is, if you die, you'll have a dead body somewhere, and maybe you have to take that to an incinerator. Because basically,
that's interesting.
If you don't take it to an incinerator after so many times, the body will just explode. So what I'm thinking is, like, they wouldn't give you a reason to come back unless that was going to be implemented.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they just have respawn points and stuff. But that's not the point of the game.
It's so old, man.
It's so fucking weird. But obviously I've not died, but I almost want to die just to see what will happen. Yeah. Because I don't know if your body will just explode immediately or you'll have a chance to come back. Because the thing is, this is another thing, I don't know. Well, actually, that wouldn't make any sense. I think you would come back in your body, wouldn't you? Because otherwise there'd be 2 fucking Norman Reeduses running about. Like, I'm still not certain how it works, but I'm sure.
Also, can I just say,
I love that we're still talking about this game.
Was Conan O'Brien and Edgar Wright, are they playing themselves? Like, in a dystopian future?
No, they're just
some washed up celebrities.
They're not, like, actually in the game. They're almost like holograms. So you deliver places, and then there's like a 3D model of like a hologram, and they're like, oh, thanks for that package. And obviously you can always go back to them. They're in the same spot every time, so you'll probably deliver multiple packages. But again, I haven't seen what Conan O'Brien looks like yet. But Edgar Wright was one of those people who's like, looks like Edgar Wright, and then it is. But as you said, like, I won't say any more because there is a couple more in there that I remember. There's quite a lot of actors in that film. It's a film in the game that you're like, I've seen him on films, and now he's in my video games. I do like that. I do like that mocap has got to that point when now that you can have celebrity actors in games. That's quite cool. I do appreciate stuff like that. I do love that game so much, but I just I think people just need to experience it for themselves in some way, mainly just for the story because it's quite interesting. And again, if we've managed to talk about it this much, it's quite a good topic to talk about because it's just interesting, man. Also, do you remember? I don't know if you remember, but I fell down some stairs recently.
Did you?
Did I tell you about this?
Oh yeah.
I think it's so. I went out with a girl to go get some food.
Right.
Standard stuff. You need the toilet. Toilet's upstairs. Cool. My boots don't have any grip on them whatsoever. Come out the toilet. Really excited to go back down. See my friend. Eat some food. Stop fucking running down the stairs. And then I realised my feet are no longer on these stairs. I'm just in midair now on these really narrow, shitty little wooden stairs, and in this restaurant, I just fell down a fucking flight of stairs, just completely fucked down it. And you know when the adrenaline kicks in, but it doesn't kick in for long enough for you to like recover. You fall down the stairs. you sit up and then you go, oh god, and like, because you know when you have to kind of sit there for a bit, because you're almost in shot, you like almost winded yourself.
Yeah.
I like literally sat up, and because I was in public, I've never had this burst of energy before.
Yeah.
I literally shot up, and I was so thankful that no one fucking saw me.
Wait, no one saw.
Because they were just round the
so-
corner enough that no one saw me, and no one was going up or down at the time. So I fell down a whole fucking flight of stairs, made the biggest 8 bangs of my life, then just got up and walked to my table all fucking normal. And like, to me, I was like, everyone's watching. I literally sat down and
Maybe everyone knew it happened. They just didn't want to look. It's just one of those things. Oh god, that guy is really embarrassing.
I literally
himself,
sat down and I was like, all right. And I was trying to, like, it didn't hurt.
Wait, did the girl see?
So she didn't
Did
see.
she push you?
It wasn't a very good day. We literally, like, so I sat down and I obviously wasn't myself. I was like trying to recover. I wasn't in pain, but I wasn't good yet.
Yeah.
She was like, "You all right?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "You sure?" And I was like, "Well, I just," and you can't drop this in conversation without her going like, "Are you all right?" I was just like, "I just fell down a flight of stairs." You can't say that in like passing conversation and then hope to move on because no one will just go, "Oh yeah, cool." You just fell down a flight of stairs. You can't, especially because you're like, I wasn't shaking, but I wasn't not rocking. So I thought my backside really fucking hurts. I was getting in the shower and I was like, I'll just check it. I don't check my ass out often. That it is good, but like I checked it out and it was just like I had the biggest blackest bruise on my backside. Mate, honestly, I was like, oh, another war wound for me. The only thing that came to my head was the shittest joke possible, and I started laughing before I got in the shower. I just in my head I was like, jackass, more like black ass. I just got in the shower and carried on with my life.
I can imagine you just walked up to the mirror and said that and just had a little giggle.
Yeah, no, I did. That is step by step what happened. Fell downstairs, looked at my ass in the mirror, made joke, washed it all away.
You had this all planned just so you could have a little giggle in the bathroom.
Yeah, pretty much. I planned it out before I even fell down the stairs, me. And then recently, like, I bought some scales because I haven't weighed myself in years, and I never want to weigh myself. It's one of those things that I absolutely dread. I bought some scales the other day and I was like, fuck it, for the first time in years, I'm going to get on them, I'm going to find out my weight. And I stood on the scales, and the cheeky cunt, he went, one at a time, please. Oh,
I really wish we could just stay silent. Just ended it.
just keep it recorded for another like hour. Just like
That would have been a good end, just that static in the background. You just hear doors shut and everyone leaving.
oh, bless. We'll just leave it on.
Let me just cut it so it just does that.
We'll just move that bit at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, honestly.
How long left of this do we have?
All right. Fucking hell. I don't know. Don't put a timer on it.
Well,
I
I'm
mean,
just, you know.
got places to be, have you?
I think the toast is finally like fucking me over now, to be honest.
Oh yeah. So we completely forgot to say Alec hasn't been speaking much specifically as well because
I'm
he's
so
really
fucking ill.
he's very poorly.
I feel like shit.
You didn't want to eat much earlier, and then Jamie basically made you have a bit of his toast because we were both eating breakfast with our coffee and Coke, and Alec was just sat in between us, just like looking really upset.
I was just staring at the sauce.
And Jamie kept going, oh, do you want a bit of my toast? And after like 30, 40 minutes, you eventually had a bit. Then you had both bits of toast, which is like I feel like toast is not something you should eat if you have a bad stomach because it's so
you
filling.
shouldn't eat toast now.
Fuck off. Yeah, I know, but I haven't eaten in like 2 days. I'm so hungry.
You haven't eaten in 2 days. No way you've got a fucking bad belly.
Well, nah, because like, I tried to eat yesterday. Obviously, I was sick all day.
Right.
I tried to eat something this morning, and I just felt like shit. So I haven't really properly eaten like anything. So I'm so tired. It's just I just feel drained. I think that's my problem.
I don't know. Just you can't even drink any more water 'cause you fucking ran out now.
Yeah, I drank it all.
Can I only say I've been really enjoying playing Minecraft at the minute.
Yeah.
Like it's just come back, and the thing is, I kind of waited for the PewDiePie Minecraft stuff to die down, so I didn't like I was riding the trend.
Oh yeah.
But I've been playing it a lot on PC, and obviously Minecraft's like Skyrim, where you buy it 8 different times on 8 different consoles, and then you fucking made me buy it again because I really wanted to play it with someone. And basically all of you lot basically have PlayStation. You have PC, and you said you play it with me on PC.
I will.
But you lied, and then you played it on PlayStation.
Listen,
you little traitor.
remember what I said?
Traitor!
Remember what I said? I said I forgot my password, and you were like, yeah, so did I. and that's why I haven't played it on PC.
Yeah, and then I fucking just put forgotten password.
Yeah, but I forgot the email as well.
Oh, shut up. But anyway, so basically I bought it again on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys have... How long have you had that world now? Because you've done quite a lot to it.
Well, that will probably about 2 weeks,
Not that long.
maybe 3.
Because like it's coming on quite nicely, but it's like I almost don't like it because you know when you want to go in and you want to do everything yourself.
Yeah.
But then it's really easy to be like, spare me some iron, spare me some of this, because you lot have been playing it for so long. It's like I don't have to do anything, and then it gets to the point where the only thing I have to do is build something nice, and that's the only thing I struggle with. So it's like, fuck. And then like because I remember I told you like sometimes I like just like not speaking, but. I don't trust you two, so what I end up doing is I usually mute my mic, play something on my laptop, but I'll keep you lot in one ear, just in case.
I thought you might.
And then it'd just be you lot like, where did Mason go? Go see what he's doing. And then it would be like Alec like, I'm watching it, it's really weird. And you'll be like crouching behind the trees if I didn't realise you, and you'd be like, I think I've been spotted. Like it's a fucking Metal Gear mission. Like, but I've just been really enjoying playing Minecraft at the minute. I don't know. I want to play it again tonight. To be honest,
Yeah,
I'm just in a Minecraft kick.
Yeah.
Can you stop putting paper on top of the microphone?
I don't want to touch the microphone.
I don't want you to blow on it either.
No,
No, go on. Just no one can see what you're doing. This isn't interesting to me. Oh,
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
there was just paper on top of the microphone because Jamie's a child. Have you heard about the new thing Netflix are doing? They're doing 1.5 speed.
What?
Which basically, obviously, you can speed through
Oh,
Netflix, but 1.5
Why would
speed
you want to
is
do that?
faster, but it will have audio. So the audio and the visuals get 1.5% faster.
Okay, but why?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
If there are
think
people
it's
out
for
there that
people to,
actually
like-
watch it that fast because they're too busy, just
Well,
don't
this
watch
thing,
it.
it's like I think it's meant for people that like binge watch things and they just need to like get through it a bit faster.
I
That's
hate
such
that.
a
That's
stupid
stupid,
fucking thing
yeah.
to do.
Pointless.
But I just thought it was quite funny, like just watching some really weird fucking stuff on 1.5 the speed.
Have you watched that Paul Rudd? Because I know you have, Alec.
I know what you're on about.
yourself.
No, I haven't
yeah.
watched it. I keep seeing it everywhere.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
It's comedy. I thought it was just going to be pure out comedy, but it's quite dark. It's
It wasn't what I was expecting when I first started watching it.
What's it even about?
So, this guy Paul Rudd, his life is going downhill, and
Is his name Paul Rudd in the film?
no,
Okay.
but he goes to this spa, not as in the shop spa, but like a spa.
Like
Okay.
massage bar.
Yeah.
There was that you doing quotations
Yeah,
or
yeah,
a
I
massage? Okay, so quotations spa.
Yeah, quotation spa. And what do you call it? He goes there and he gets cloned. And I won't give too much away, but that's it. It's only 8 episodes and they're 20 minutes long.
Oh, it's a
each.
series?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a series.
Oh, I mean, if you recommend it, like, because I'll probably end up watching it. I do like Paul Rudd quite a lot.
Yeah. Have you watched him on the Hot Ones lately?
No, I haven't watched the Hot Ones in a little while.
Oh, I fucking love that. Oh, what do you call it? Nick Offerman was on as well.
He was actually.
He was. Oh,
Is he good
brilliant.
with Spice, or is he really bad?
Yeah, he's good with Spice.
He's one of those people that, like, you can't tell, but, like, he'd either be amazing with Spice, or he'd be, like, really bad with it.
I mean, he wasn't fantastic with it compared to other
But,
people.
like, I can imagine he like,
wasn't-
holds his own, like...
Oh, yeah.
He keeps that quite straight. Because I know that some people, like, just absolutely break on that show. I do respect the people that try and do it, and they try and go the full whack, but, like, no milk, no nothing,
Yeah.
like...
Well, actually, Nick Offerman... No, it was Paul Rudd that went no milk.
Oh, really?
Paul Rudd handled it really well.
There's a couple of people like that, though, that, like,
Also, I
Copy.
didn't realise, because Paul Rudd's uncle is British, so he's spent a lot of time in Britain, so he knows all the biscuits and all the jammy
all the
dodgers.
biscuits. Yeah, but I've lived in England all my life, but I think I could name a lot of the American
Well, yeah, I know, but it's
cookies
just,
and
you know...
stuff.
Could you?
That's because...
Well, yeah, a lot of them aren't too different
Name
from
one.
us. Chips Ahoy.
But that's the thing.
But they're not...
The
They're not
English
as
care about the Americans. The Americans don't care about the English.
Well, that's true. But they've got it all over there. They don't need to care what we do.
Yeah, that's true.
And the things that they should care about, they've already got, like, Cadbury's is over there now.
Yeah.
The thing is, we're quite big on biscuits. They're not as big on cookies.
Cookies Quotation marks.
Quotation marks. Well, actually, I was just massaging the
Yeah,
biscuit. Because they're more into like the sugar type of stuff. Like
Meatloaf.
Yeah, like meatloaf. I do you know what? I might buy a Gatorade after this. There's a Sainsbury's over there. You haven't bought one yet.
No.
They sell in the Sainsbury's near us. They always have like an American aisle, and they sell.
Do they?
Yeah.
They sell Twinkies and stuff. Though.
Holy shit.
I've bought Twinkies through before.
Oh yeah,
this is
no,
like the
no,
third
hang on,
time
no,
we've
I
had
know
this
that. No,
conversation.
listen, I know they do Twinkies. I just didn't know they had like a set American aisle. There's the American
But
candy
it's
store.
cheaper than because the American candy store is so pricey. It's like £9 for a box of Lucky Charms we found.
Stupid.
I
And then
wonder,
in B&M we found it was like £4.
I wonder if America have like an English sweet shop.
Possibly. I mean, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It's like the novelty of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's places for a lot of countries. It's just obviously America's one of those places that is quite known for English people because also it's quite similar to what we have.
Yeah.
Where if it was like a Korean or Indian sweet shop, I don't think that would resonate as much with like Bristol people. You know, the kind of people that eat fish and chips every other fucking day.
Oh yeah, I don't know if Alec told you when we were at Five Guys the other day. We saw what's his name? You know that? Well, I told
Oh,
the
yeah, I
others
did see.
after they went. You know that
Tic
guy,
Tac guy.
that Tic Tac guy, Tic Tac head guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know his name.
Do you actually know his name?
His
name is the Tic Tac guy.
I can't remember. I can't even remember. But I
Hang
used
on,
to watch so
I'll
much
search.
Villainy as well. But
yeah, he just stared right at me, and I was gonna tell
was
him
it actually him?
it was him. He said
100%. It was definitely him.
100% him.
Not that like I couldn't tell if it wasn't him. He's got quite a distinct face.
No, it was 100% him. His thing, because he looked at me like, please don't say who I am.
Yeah,
And
because do you reckon he must go around terrified of everyone? Because everyone under the age of like 16 must be like, "Let's take that kid." Like, I reckon he must hate his fucking.
that's the thing. I was gonna point him out to like Leon, Lou, and Alec.
That's hilarious.
But I thought
my
you know,
head does not look like a tic tac, a bloody tic tac.
but I thought I'll just let him leave and then point out. 'Cause he
That's
looks.
hilarious.
And was
I love it when I see YouTubers. There's a couple of them that live in Bristol. So
Actually, I don't know much about him. Is he actually like Callum's Corner?
Callum. Oh, I love him so much.
I hadn't actually seen any of his stuff. I just know him from
It's
friends.
like he always Will and he always used to bully him, and then him and Will and he I think became friends ? They had a really weird thing. Callum's really strange, but I think
that was him. He had his hood,
I do not
hoodie
look
up
like
and
a
everything.
bloody tic tac. Yeah, but the hood doesn't really help because it just defines his head even more.
Here's a photo of what he looks like.
He looks a bit like a villager.
Here's a photo of what he looks like.
Don't make Jack do it because if you say here's a photo of what he looks like, I'll have to then remember and tell him, yeah, fucking write this down now, aren't I? Because if I don't put down a time code, Jack won't put it in. That's amazing. Because obviously the Yogscast film out of Bristol as well.
Oh wait, really?
Yeah, so Queen Square?
I forgot about Yogscast.
Queen Square is like round the corner. It's on the way to
Yeah,
Leominster.
yeah, I know.
They literally film over there.
Are the Yogscast British?
Yeah.
Are they? Oh my god, I thought they were American.
How have you never noticed?
I've never really watched Yogscast.
The whole thing about Simon was he liked Jaffa cakes. Do you not remember that? That was massive.
Well, I've never really watched Yogscast either.
All
I
you
didn't
should
know
sort
until
your
he told
fucking
me
life
about
out.
it.
I always thought they were just like a sort of Game Grumps type thing.
Nah, they're very different. They're very British.
Are they?
They play a lot of like Gmod and stuff.
Oh yeah. Right. Wait, where are they from?
England.
No, yeah, but where from in England?
Oh, none of them like came from Bristol, but they all work and live in Bristol now.
They all work in Bristol.
Yeah, that's why I just Queen Square. It's literally-
Queen Square.
literally
I
around
know
the
where
corner.
that is.
Yeah, it's like literally like 2 minutes from here.
Wait, what about Queen Square?
Shut up. But I remember
That's
like
mad.
Sandra is like a massive fan, and she went LARPing like because she's cool. She
Hang on,
went
what's
LARPing.
LARPing?
Yeah, no,
I've heard
action
that.
role
she
playing.
she genuinely like gets dressed up. She has
Oh.
animation and stuff. But she met Hat Films over there, and she was
you know
lovely.
that Johnson thing where he goes laughing. He's just there doing like big
Like
thunderbolts.
arts have been slain. Yeah, but like
we
she
should
met a
pop
couple-
over and say hi to them.
Oh,
Yeah.
what fellow YouTubers?
That'd be our guests on our podcast.
Our next collaboration.
Exactly. I can't.
Do you
believe
reckon
that.
we could do something with your kids? But we're up and coming YouTubers from Bristol.
Yeah.
Would you like to get together sometime?
I can't believe they work in Bristol.
They're
I thought they were some-
literally like so close to us right now.
They probably
They're probably working
You
over
reckon
here.
they probably actually been here?
Just to watch a film, yeah. Just to
That's
watch a
mad.
film with something.
I never knew that. I feel like I live with a
Do
celebrity.
you know? I've seen I've never walked up and met them because same thing with Callum. Like, I don't want to go up and like be like I'm a massive fan. So during the Christmas markets, I've seen a couple of them before. Do you know who Duncan is? He's the blonde one.
Yeah.
So I've seen Duncan at the Christmas markets before. That was cool. And I've seen there's a guy called Terps. I think he's recently been suspended. But like I remember I saw him and I got really excited. But it's just cool because they just live literally right around the corner. But it's the kind of people that you don't want to go up and be like, oh my god, I've seen your YouTube videos. Like, but like also you just want to be like, hey, bro, I do YouTube as well.
You kind of want them to like acknowledge you.
Yeah, acknowledge me for who I am. I've seen your Gmod videos. But yeah, no, they're cool guys.
Has the Yogscast done anything with Game Grumps? Just out of curiosity.
No, I don't think but they've done something with Dan Ball.
Oh yeah.
No, Game Grumps has done something with Rooster Teeth though. Do you remember I showed you On the Spot, the Rooster Teeth game show? Is the one with Clayton?
Yeah.
They had Game Grumps on one of those, but it was like a live show. So they have like a live show every year called it might not be every year, but it's oh fuck. It's usually just a convention they have. But basically they had Game Grumps on, and they did like a live. They always do like a live version of On the Spot, and they had Game Grumps on. It was so good as well. Aaron wore like a little pink My Little Pony t-shirt that was like really tight with shorts. He's such an awkward bloke. And then Dan just rocking his afro. Dan's afro is massive now. It's so big. Have you seen the Magic the Gathering thing they played? They played it in a pool.
Yeah.
So they played the card game Magic the Gathering, but in a pool. And every time one of them took damage, they got squirted with cannons. And like at one point, all the cards got all floppy and wet. And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna play this card. It's a really rare card. It will go for a lot of money." And he was just flopping it around, and there was water coming off it and shit. Oh, it was so good. This has been a really weird episode of the podcast.
Yeah. At least we'll have Norman Reedus as a thumbnail, because that's what we talked about most. Can you draw Norman Reedus, Alex?
You should do a BT.
I should try.
No, you should, so the BT, they're like this invisible thing, but if you get too close, they're like almost like dust particles.
Oh, that's a
they
good
have,
idea.
like,
They're invisible.
like,
you don't have to join them.
just leave it empty. This has been weird. It's been quite a chilled episode of the podcast, I think. We've kind of just talked about Death Stranding quite a lot.
Yeah, I think that.
And games.
That's alright.
But I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
I mean, you will, so I imagine it was good on you.
Yeah, I apologise in advance.
I've got to make sure to credit you because you started doing the thumbnail photos and they look amazing. I never credited you on the first podcast.
Did you just say you apologise in advance? Even though we just finished.
Shut up. My brain's fucked.
Oh, but yeah. So if you notice any of the wicked thumbnails and you like them, they're all coming from Alec. Would you ever think about doing freelance work with that? If someone that said I'll pay you this much money to draw me a picture.
Probably, but I don't really know. Like, I don't really consider myself an artist.
Well, no, but
I just fucking doodle.
All right, well, because your Instagram gets linked on the podcast anyway.
I don't do drawings on Instagram.
No, you don't. But that's a way someone can reach you if they wanted to.
Maybe you start your own Instagram, other Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
A. Martin photographs.
That's effective.
Anyway, follow Jamie's cool photography account.
Cheers, mate.
Follow our Twitter @The Pact Podcast.
I still need to go to Twitter.
Or @Pact Podcast. That's a lot. I didn't really think about that when I was making that.
At Bristol. At Bristol.
No,
Oh yeah, it's really
not called
curious
At
now,
Bristol.
is it?
Yeah, because they changed the name to say
Curious.
dope. Did I show you that meme where it's like when you're when you like boys and girls, but you're still alone, and then it's like you're all by yourself. Anyway, like,
No, you didn't.
I remember that one.
I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna end this episode here.
Right.
Follow us at whatever's on screen or whatever's not on screen. It'll be in the description. That's
Yeah.
fine. Probably, maybe. I don't think I didn't link us in the last episode. I'm gonna go back and do that in a minute.
No.
Oh goodness. Bye.
Oh, dear.